This video is just showing our DIY slope yard into a wonderful enclosed backyard. Yep, all we had was a slope. And here is where we're digging down to place the foundation under our new wall. We had to dig down, put rock down, put rebar down, and we had to frame it. Here is where we put the cross with the flowers for the blessing of the work, job site, and the workers. Here is after we had poured the concrete. We are taking off the foundation frames and they are clearing the holes for the drainage to go through. It turned out wonderful. It is really, really nice. And we actually poured all of this by hand. So here's right about a month after we had actually started the project. I'm just coming down here to be nosy and get some footage after they took off all the frames. We still gotta run the drainage through the bottom part of the foundation. This over here is still wet, so we weren't able to take the frames off yet. Here we actually have our area that we are going to need to make a support wall, and it needs to be pretty deep down because it's going to be holding a lot of weight from dirt and water and anything else that we put up there. So it's got to be a really, really strong support wall. And we already have materials coming in, concrete, rock, everything that we need to do to start making the frame. Here are my fence panels. I'm doing a sneak peek outside, seeing what I can see. Oh, I need to go look over there. It looks like they actually started to put cinder blocks up on the wall on one side before we frame up for the retaining wall. Lots and lots of cinder blocks. I think we had at least 12 pallets of cinder blocks altogether for this job. And each of them were cut by hand by my husband. Yay, I have a wall, or the beginnings of a wall. I keep looking out the window to get videos and to get updates on what it looks like. Yep, there was basically only 3 people working on this project the whole time. Some other parts there were helpers, but it was mainly 3 people that did all the work. And then after the wall was built and everything was done, then we just did projects after that. Here we have the rebar ready for the retaining wall. We still have to make the frame around it so we can fill it up with the concrete. But there's the rock at the bottom, and all the rebar is tied and ready. My husband is burning all the concrete bags, and he definitely got a little dirty after a long day of work. That is right on top of that foundation that we had poured a couple days ago. It's all nice and dry. And after we get the first couple rows of block, then we'll start backfilling it. And here we already started to backfill one side of the foundation wall. You kept the other side kind of flat so you could still walk up there. Here's my daughter. She's outside helping me fill in the gaps with dirt. Love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for helping me. It was a lot of dirt and work. This is what me and her did. But we still have a lot to go. It might not look deep, but it is. We need lots of rock and stuff to fill that up, not just dirt. Okay, today is one of the worst days I have ever lived. We had to hand pour this retaining wall. We had our rock, we had our concrete, and we had to go rent a larger concrete mixer because our small one just wasn't going to cut it. So while we went to rent the machine, the guys framed up the wall. We brought down all the concrete blocks from above so that way they would be ready when the guys start building the wall, so that way the concrete and all the materials would be right here for them. This is everybody taking a break. We have our giant mixer. And the frame is up and it's full of concrete. We're just tapping it down and making sure everything is secure and not leaking, and making sure it's going to withstand all that concrete inside. Today was a great day. I go outside and look down, and the outer wall, the back outer wall, has started to take shape. It has already got a couple rows of concrete started. So super, super exciting, because not only did we get the foundation wall poured, now we're getting the back wall started. And again, we had the concrete blocks down there already, so that way it would go pretty fast. My husband is helping prep the concrete. He is helping the workers so that way everything can go smoother and faster. But slowly, 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 it is starting to take shape. So what he's doing now is just mixing, I guess it's called mortar. And it's got to be a specific consistency, not too dry and not too wet. So that way when the blocks are laid, it kind of stays there, but it's wet enough to keep them together. And with him going, he's kind of helping everybody fill up their stuff so they don't stop laying the bricks. And whenever they need a special size brick cut, then each brick is cut by hand, so that way the wall stays symmetrical. And that's what he's going to get ready to do right now. He's going to get measurements on what size block piece needs to be cut, and he is going to go cut it. We do have the castillos, I guess you could call them, what do you call them? Pillars. That's it. I had a brain hiccup there for a minute. Pillars. So you see the pillars that are in between the blocks. We will frame those up later after the wall is made, and we will fill those with concrete. Right now he's making his markings, and he's going to score the concrete block on both sides after he makes his measurements. And then he is going to get a wedge and just tap and tap and tap, and then the piece will break apart very cleanly. He had to do this for, I would say, at least 50 plus blocks, maybe even up to 75 plus blocks, because each row will have different pieces that it needs to end. So doing all of these by hand was just a lot of extra work and extra details that we had to take into consideration, because we wanted it to be a sound structure that did look nice and wasn't very sloppy. And as you can see, he has got a perfect cut, and he is just chipping off some of the little bumps that are sticking to it. And it's kind of like a really big real life Tetris puzzle, where you just need that perfect piece to finish a layer. I'm going to sneak out and take a look at how the work is going. I've been filming from the patio a lot, and I've been filming from the second story window a lot, but I actually want to get down here and get a closer look of what has been going on and what's done. So I'm not going to go in that way. I don't want to bother him while he's over here. So I'm just going to peek over. Wow. It is coming along really, really nicely. So watch what I'm doing when I'm recording so I don't trip over anything. Lots of debris in the yard. Until we get this filled with dirt, we have some boards over the big hole so nobody falls down, hopefully. It looks like it's not leaning and everything looks straight still, so that's, yay, an accomplishment. And then I have my hubby, my husband over here. Not you, but you over here who's actually sitting down, taking a break. Is that a bottle? That's a bottle of what? What do I see you guys drinking over here? You better make sure these lines stay straight if you're drinking that. Yep. You better have water in that cup. Pretty soon, we will not be able to just walk to this other side. Oh, look, there is a drainage. The drainage pipes are put in. Yeah, pretty soon we're not going to be able to just jump over. Now that everybody's gone, me and my daughter, we actually had to take the frames off with the help of my husband, but me and my daughter had to paint and seal the retaining wall before we filled it back up. So that was just a pretty long project to do. Doesn't look like it took long, but it did. We just kind of took our time and went slow. Looks very, very straight and nice, and it's going to be holding a lot of weight from all this dirt, and there's going to be extra rock, and when it rains, the water hitting this. So we're going to put down drainage tubes after we get it backfilled a little bit, so that way the water can run off to the side. And again, most of this video, or basically all of this video, is recorded with my phone up and down instead of sideways. Now this is where me, my husband, my son, and my brother, we all got together. We framed up those pillars, those castillos, like I was telling you, and we are hand filling them. We have our own small little concrete mixer that we found and we bought, and it has been amazing using it, even though it's old and kind of run down, but it's a heck of a lot better than hand mixing it with a shovel, so I'll take it. You see, my husband is up at the top and he is filling up the castillos with the concrete. And then out here we have the materials to backfill the wall. We have a protective sheet close to the wall to kind of help get the water and everything to run more down to the side. We have also the drainage tubes that we are going to cover up with rock first before dirt. So we are not doing this by hand. We had to call a buddy down the street for help. He has got a big machine, but wintertime, yep, look at the snow. Everything is white, but at least it's all enclosed. You see that corner? The corner is now enclosed. November 2019. Well, we've got a lot of time that has passed, and most of this has settled. We did build a retaining wall on the far side that's actually going down into the back patio. We did not put a solid retaining wall there because we wanted it to let water drain, to keep some of the weight off of the retaining water. Looks pretty nice. We have Grandma's trailer up there, and we are going to also run electric and water. Okay, so they marked for the electric, the sewer, and the water. And we're just waiting for them to finish digging and putting the pipes in. Got all the drainage and that done, and then we'll backfill right now, put the rock down, and then we can move the trailer. And Grandma will have a whole bunch of land and stuff to do what you're doing. Yep, you better believe it. The day after Christmas, outside, and it is actually some pretty nice weather. No jacket. And we are getting the slope finally filled in. Yep. It is rock first. Well, no, it's actually the protective plastic first, then the draining tubes, then the rock on top of the tubes because we don't want to put the dirt on top of those. We don't want them clogged. And then backfilling with some more dirt. And we're going to finish later, hopefully putting rock on there so that way it's not muddy. But yay. Okay, so we brought in some more rock to keep everything from being so muddy. And we added the railing on top of that retaining wall. And the railing in the back on top of the back wall with my pointy rails. We did have to secure the main retaining wall and pull it back a little bit. It did end up shifting about 2 inches in front. So we had to have the bars put in and concrete they said it was a skyscraper strength concrete. So we had to put bars in, and they had to pull the top of the retaining wall back about 2 inches. And this just gives the retaining wall something to help maintain it, keep its place, so the weight doesn't pull it out anymore. And with this fix, it should keep it nice and straight and not lean forward. But on the other side of the retaining wall, there's going to be plates. And if the retaining wall ever does lean forward, all we need to do is tighten the bolts and it'll bring the retaining wall back. There's the electric work and sewer work for the trailer. That's going to be placed here. We have a trailer that's going to be placed here, and we wanted to have sewer and water and electric for it. In the backyard, we had this shed that was just kind of at the end of where we were working. And I told my husband that we needed to move it so we could enclose completely the back patio. So here it is. Shed is gone. And we are going to start pouring concrete because we just got the rock down and we got the rock leveled. Over there's where the shed used to be. And they are going to be working here in a little bit. They're going to be setting their grids with rebar. And it's time to pour the floor or the floor foundation, whatever. We also do have drainage already in there that they're going to pour around, and they're going to make their slopes to make sure all the water does drain properly. This was definitely exciting to finally see this coming together. And this is going on 3 years after we started. It was emotional. I was so happy. And these guys did such a good job. And like I said, you can see in the back, we had the castillos, the pillars that we poured. We do have the pointy fence we set up in between there. And we also do have this fence on top of that retaining wall so nobody could just walk and fall down in there. They ended up pouring 4 parts in this back part. They did an awesome job with this. These guys were really professional. And we were not hand pouring this. We definitely were getting a truck. We were just, at this point, so tired of the amount of work that we put into this that we were just like, you know what? It's going to be worth the money to have a concrete truck come in and pour. Yeah, I had to come outside and get a better view. Looking outside my window just did not do it justice. We used a lot of concrete, but it was well worth it. And I'm not joking when I said it's such a blessing to have gotten this far. This guy just did an awesome job. I mean, from the beginning to the end, he had everything under control. It was paying attention to details, and I could not be happier with what we ended up getting. I had to keep coming out and being nosy. How's it going? How's it going? Now this part, we actually moved the concrete truck to the other side where you've seen the shed being pulled up. We had a concrete truck go to the other side of the house because we were using this dumpster for the concrete. There was just really no way for the truck to... Oop, he almost fell. There wasn't any way for the truck to actually pour any more from the other side. So it parked, and they had to do the little bitty truck, dumpster truck, and do this third part here. We also had to lift up our air conditioner, and that's kind of floating on the patio right now so that way we could pour the concrete underneath it. They put the plastic up to protect the house from concrete. This walkway I loved when we got this done. My husband and a couple of his buddies did that because walking down there with the mud and the slippy slope was just awful. There are those plates that we had put in to bring the wall back. And just checking it out. Oh my goodness, that is such an improvement. There's our drains. We had quite a few drains put in. I do believe it's 4 drains. And then the drain on the steps when you go down. That part is going to be done tomorrow. And it's already tomorrow. Well, I'm not sure when we're going to have chairs.
We can have chairs like right here.
Mm-hmm. We are going to have a cast iron gate made for this opening down here. I just want it to be very secure.
La luz no se te olvida apagarla.
Okay, so all that's left is to completely finish enclosing this area. So right behind me, right here, is where we are going to enclose. This is where the shed used to be. So we just need to start our last 2 walls to enclose this area.
Necesito como está rascado la tierra. Qué bueno que no lo lleva tanto tierra.
At this time, when I come out on this little teeny tiny ugly patio, I dream of having a large patio that goes right down there to the kitchen window. I mean, there's just so much open space here that I would love to have a patio above what we just finished or are finishing. This little bitty patio just does not make me happy. Look at this. This work has definitely been worth it. Yay! Today we got some more dirt delivered and it is getting flattened out. This doggone slope that we've been living with is slowly going away. We are just having it filled in. Okay, so I'm coming out and I'm doing a aerial view from my ugly patio to the last part. Yay, that's where the shed used to be. Got the shed out of there, and now I can actually start saying that we have a enclosed backyard. It's just me and Morrow, my husband, doing this by hand. And boy, I hate cinder blocks. Hate cinder blocks. They are so heavy and awful. But you know what? You do what you gotta do to finish your projects. So me and him just kind of slowly did that. We got the scaffolding. I bought Morrow scaffolding so he could work up high. Here's my daughter on the swing while she's recording. Blah. All right, doing a walkthrough. Looks so good. There are those plates that are, oh, well, let's do this first. We've got the opening. We've got the plates that we have. Look at that railing up there to make sure nobody falls down in here. That would hurt. We finished the top 3 rows of this area. We are going to finish the top 3 rows very soon. I just cannot believe how much work and how much better it looks. We have a usable, I'm so excited, usable, I can't use my words, usable backyard. Yep, we're out here and it's starting to kind of sprinkle, but we're still working through. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're almost done. That scaffolding is a lifesaver. We were trying to put 2x6s on blocks and buckets to get up there, but I just finally broke down and told my husband I bought you a present. So he likes the scaffolding. Will we ever use it again after this? I don't know. It's in a shed, but we have it if we ever need it for any other projects. But he is looking like a expert up there. Yes, he is. After this, all we've got to do is frame up and fill the castillos, the rest of the pillars. Yay, it is now officially, finally enclosed. And some more dirt. You know what? Some girls are happy with diamonds. I'm happy with dirt. Let's make this slope some flat, usable land. And there will be more in part 2.